Fundamentals of Pedagogy by Lucian Green Direction 3 and 4. 21. The construction site manager turned the door handle. He did this by licking around the ice cream. First, he licked the front of the ice cream. Second, he licked to the front left of the ice cream. Third, he licked to the left of the ice cream. In this way, the construction site manager turned the door handle by licking around the ice cream. 22. The swimmer squeezed the flotation device between her thighs. She did this by squeezing the bottle. First, she placed her right thumb on the left side of the bottle. Second, she placed her right index finger on the right side of the bottle. Third, she squeezed the bottle between her thumb and index finger. In this way, the swimmer squeezed the flotation device between her thighs by squeezing the bottle. 23. The sign writer prepared to write letters out for a hearing-impaired client. He did this by stroking his hand. First, he placed his right index finger on the left of his left palm. Second, he moved it across his palm. Third, he stopped when it reached the right of his palm. In this way, the sign writer prepared to write letters out for a hearing-impaired client by stroking his hand. 24. The cell biologist prepared to test that the cell cycle worked. He did this by licking the rim of his glass. First, he placed the tip of his tongue at the front of the rim. Second, he moved his tongue around the rim. Third, he stopped when he had completed licking the rim of the glass. In this way, the cell biologist prepared to test that the cell cycle worked by licking the rim of his glass. 25. The doctor prepared to eat the rice ball. He did this by rotating his tongue. First, he licked above his mouth. Second, he lowered his tongue. Third, he stopped when it was horizontal. In this way, the doctor prepared to eat the rice ball by rotating his tongue. 26. The doctor prepared to inject the patient. She did this by walking along the side of the curving canal. First, she measured 10 meters away from the edge of the canal, to point A. Second, she measured 10 meters away from the edge 10 meters along the edge of the canal, to point B. Third, she walked from point A to point B. In this way, the doctor prepared to inject the patient by walking along the side of the curving canal. 27. The hairstylist prepared to give his client a haircut. He did this by peeling the onion. First, he cut from the top to the bottom down one side. Second, he cut from the top to the bottom down the other side. Thirdly, he peeled the skin from the onion. In this way, the hairstylist prepared to give his client a haircut by peeling the onion. 28. The rower prepared to be on the lookout for his destination. He did this by jumping onto the bed. First, he stood on the bed. Second, he jumped spread-eagled on the bed. Third, he jumped back to a standing position. In this way, the rower prepared to be on the lookout for his destination by jumping onto the bed. 29. The pedestrian crossed the road between the traffic islands. He did this by crossing over the creek. First, he found where the left bank went closer to the center of the creek. Second, he found where the right bank went closer to the center of the creek. Third, he jumped where the two sides of the creek converged. In this way, the pedestrian crossed the road between the traffic islands by crossing over the creek. 30. The mountaineer prepared to build the antenna on top of the mountain. He did this by listening through the keyhole. First, he waited until the people had entered the room. Second, he pressed his ear hole against the keyhole. Third, he entered the room when the amplitude of sound was 0. In this way, the mountaineer prepared to build the antenna on top of the mountain by listening through the keyhole.